Hello students, myself Priya. I'm working as an assistant professor, IMT College of Pharmacy, Greater Noida. So on this video, we will discuss about BCS classification. We will cover introduction of BCS classification, factors affecting in BCS classification types, and application of biopharmaceutical classification, class of boundaries, bioaware, and the conclusion with some references. First, we have to know what is the BCS classification. Biopharmaceutical classification was first developed by in the year of 1995 by Amidon and his colleagues. He helps to basically He helps to understand the property of drug and absorption can be enhanced, how and bioavailability can be enhanced through BCS classification. To save the time and first screening is required for any drug substances are classified on basis of solubility and permeability, right? So as a definition of BCS classification, how we can define BCS classification is the scientific framework for classifying a drug substance based on aqueous solubility, intestinal permeability, and dissolution rate. The factors which affect the BCS classification are solubility, permeability, and dissolution. What is first we have to know that what is solubility, right? The solubility is the maximum amount of an solute substance in given solvent under at standard condition like temperature, pressure, and pH. When we talk about solubility, we have to understand that the solubility of any drug substance is the maximum amount of solute which dissolve in a given solvent at particular temperature, pressure, and pH. The solubility is the availability of drug to be the solution after dissolution. A higher single unit dose is completely soluble in 250 ml at pH 1 to 6.8 at the room temperature 37 degrees centigrade. Now, the next factor which affect the solubility, that is permeability. When we talk about the permeability of any drug substance, that means the permeability of a drug to pass the biological membrane, which is lipophilic, and it is based on the extent of absorption or rate of absorption of any drug substances. The permeability study is determined by various things like mass balance, absolute bioavailability, and human intestinal or perfusion study. How permeability is affect on any drugs BCS classification, or how permeability is a factor of BCS classification, because as we know the permeability means that permeable or how the drug is absorbed in our body. When the drug is absorbed in our body, that means it reaches to the systemic circulation, and the when it gets in systemic circulation, that means the chances of therapeutic effect is enhanced. Next is the factor is dissolution. What is dissolution? The process in which solid substance like drug or any other substance solubilize in a given solvent or in any standard solvent, that is mass transfer from solid surface to liquid phase. There are n number of dissolution apparatus like USP apparatus 1, USP apparatus 2 mentioned in IP and BP. We can go through that apparatus, and at the ideal apparatus, at any particular apparatus, we can used for dissolution of any drug substance. The dissolution media should be 900 ml, and these are some examples of dissolution media which is used as a dissolution media, right? First is for stomach, that is the standard of any dissolution media is, for stomach is 0.1 SCM. For intestinal region, pH 4.5 to 6.8 buffer should be ideal. Next, this is BCS classification. That is, BCS are classified in four categories, that is class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 4. The first, so firstly, as we discuss about what is solubility, what is permeability and what is dissolution, so as we know that the BCS classification is divide under based on solubility and permeability. In a class first, uh, it has high solubility and high permeability. For example, propanolol. And in class second, the solubility of any drug substance is low, but permeability is high, like nifedipine. Thirdly, in third class, we can say that class third, the solubility is high, but the permeability is low. And next is class 4 classification. That means where we can say the solubility as well as the permeability of any drug substance is low. As example, Dexol. First is class 1 drug. It is very ideal for oral route administration because it has rapid drug absorption, it dissolves rapidly, and when the drug is absorbed and dissolved rapidly, we can say that it definitely show rapid therapeutic action. So the bioavailability is not a problem. And here is no rate limiting factor. In class second, it is also ideal for oral route administration. Drug absorb rapidly, but drug dissolves slowly because the solution or the drug solubility is low. So here the rate limiting factor for class second drug is dissolution because the drug gets slowly released in the body. In case of class third, the oral route administration is ideal, but the drug absorption is limited and the drug dissolves rapidly because as we know that it has high solubility, but the permeability rate of this kind of drug is slow. So the rate limiting factor for class third drug is absorbance. In class 4 drug, it is poorly absorbed by oral administration and it has both the issue. It In this kind of drug, the solubility as well as the permeability is limited or very low, and it may show the slow or low therapeutic action. So we have to design this kind of drug novely, and there are other novel drug delivery system. There are some novel drug delivery system which we can use for this kind of drug and develop any drug formulation. Application of BCS classification, we can easily predict any drug product solubility and permeability through this process, and it acts as a weapon for drug discovery and research. It consumes time, money for any researchers, and through this we can easily develop any drug formulations. The boundaries or classes of boundaries which we can tell that first is high solubility. High solubility, that means the highest dose is soluble in 250 ml or less than 250 ml over the pH range is 1 to 7.5. The volume estimated for this is like a glass full. High permeability, the high permeability term used when the extent of absorption in human is determined by to be more than 90% when it's administered. Rapid dissolvent term is used when the 85% or more than 85% of labeled amount of drug substance dissolved within 30 minutes using any solvent. Next term is BioAware. What is BioAware? It is just in vitro instead of in vivo bioequivalence testing. How can we define BioAware? It is an exemption from conducting human equivalence study when the active ingredient meets certain solubility and permeability criteria in vitro and when the dissolution profile of dosage form meets a requirement for IR dosage form. That means it is applicable to the drug product where the drug substances exhibit high solubility or either high permeability, which is found in class 1st and class 2nd drug, or low permeability. What are the criteria of BioAware? That is rapid and similar dissolution. It has high solubility, it has high permeability, and wide therapeutic window. Excipient used in dosage form are same as those present to approve the drug product. What are the conclusion of BCS classification? The biopharmaceutical classification aims to provide the regulatory tool for certain drug dissolving or drug testing dissolution test or drug testing study. In vivo pharmacokinetic of drug depends largely on the solubility and permeability. Many laboratories are engaged to find better means to estimate in vivo behavior of the drug after oral administration by using in vitro dissolution tests. By using BCS classification, we can save our time, we can save our money, and we can save um, our the we it can give us ideal characteristic of drug for that particular solvent and the drug substance. So, in case of novel drug delivery system, we can use BCS classification as a weapon to develop any novel formulation. These are some references which I prefer to make slide share. And thank you for listening me. Thank you.